Because what you sort of described to me is that if I had a manager running a team of 6 people, 10 people, their issue is going to have a specificity to it. It's going to be involved in.
Yes.
It's going to be very precise. And the problem is when organizations scale to 100 to 200 to 1,000 to
Yeah.
10,000, there's an attempt to try to bring
I think that's
a consistent holistic solution. And that's where conversations scale come in. And you're exactly right. When you attempt to measure culture across 1,000 people, there's no consistency about what people perceive the values to be, what people perceive the incentives to be. So is to some extent, if the actual enemy here is scale, that you're trying to say the problem for our whole organization is screwdrivers, when actually there's going to be someone who needs a saw, someone who needs that actually the solution should be potentially gifting some degree of agency to everyone in every situation and removing this sort of disempowered scale and trying to allow people to use their own initiative is that what we should be thinking about then?
Yeah, I haven't actually thought about that before, but I think that is one of the main barriers here, in that within a small organization, small team, people can see what's going on often much better, and there's a lot more nuance. Whereas if you scale up, you kind of lose that a bit. So I think that's absolutely right. And I think the problem is that people try to impose from the top a kind of solution to problems they don't even know exist, or maybe exist a little bit in some context within the business, which just is going to be irrelevant and not work and even harmful to the rest of the business. So certainly in most of the work I'm doing at the moment, it's very much exactly to your point, saying be specific. So it's a bit like saying a business leader might say, we want everyone to be proactive and entrepreneurial. No, you don't. No.
Yeah, quite often when you see some of the challenges that organizations have, I think of the United Airlines flight 3411, which was a few years ago, flying out of Chicago to Louisville on a Sunday night. It hit the news, it hit people's social media feeds because one passenger was dragged off the flight, ended up suing the airline, made $140 million in a settlement. The issue when they did a post-mortem on it was that there was not a single person on the flight who was able to increase the amount of incentive to get passengers off. And so because they had no one who was empowered to make a decision, there was no agency there at all, they dragged someone off with sort of catastrophic consequences. And quite often that's sort of parable for modern work for a lot of people. They're just not allowed to make decisions.
Yes.
And so you've got this sort of environment where someone comes along and says the new culture is ... and it's a vague and irrelevant term for you, but trying to do anything at scale ends up producing an answer to something that isn't there.
Yeah,
I wonder if that's
absolutely. That's really good. And also, we want employees to think critically. We want managers to think critically. And it's, a great example of this is so-called resistance to change. Most times I've seen this, and my understanding of it is most times people have resistance to change. It's because they have genuine and, if you like, well-founded objections to what is being proposed. They have a view about why it not work. Organizations may say that as a negative thing. Oh, don't resist change. But actually, they can see what might be going wrong with this.